Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and this video is actually going to be pretty quick. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about common networking problems you might find, and I'm going to basically teach you how to fix the internet at your house if it goes out or you have issues with it. So the learning objective for this lesson is to solve connectivity and common network problems. Okay, I'm actually going to move my face over here. Okay. Hold on. So routers, unlike computers, are always powered on, right? You can turn your computer on and off, but routers are generally on all the time. They make millions of connections and millions of decisions each second. They're usually reliable, but sometimes they can be on the fritz. Sometimes they can cause problems. So let's talk about how we can diagnose and fix our router if we have router problems. So the first thing you're going to want to do is unplug the router, count to 3, plug it back into the wall, right? Maybe even count to 30. Give it a little bit of time. Let it reset. With a lot of computer problems, turning it off and turning it back on might actually solve the problem. And it's kind of a joke, but like people use it as a joke, but it really is a fix action for a lot of computer problems. And the reason is because computers, when they start up, there are a lot of things that happen in that startup process that maybe are on the fritz, or maybe they didn't work properly the first time. So by turning it off, turning it back on, you might actually start it up properly this time. Routers can sometimes suffer from micro blackouts present in home power supplies. So these are also called brownouts. Basically, they lose power momentarily, but then they come back, they get power again before it fully shuts down, right? Now, this can cause problems in your router because, well, your router is doing stuff and then it loses power and it stops doing stuff for like a millisecond and then comes back up before it can fully boot up again. So unplugging your router and plugging it back in will force the operating system of your router to fully reboot, and it might solve your problem. So most routers start with all of their lights on. When you plug it in, all the lights turn on, and then they turn off for any unused network ports, right? If all the lights come on and stay on, then that means your operating system on your router failed to boot properly. So if your device is under warranty, then you need to contact the manufacturer or your service provider to try to get a replacement. If you need to repair the problem, then look at the instructions for your router. And if you don't have the manual anymore, you can also just Google, let's say you have a Linksys router, all lights on, help, and you'll find steps. If nothing works, then you may have to buy a new router. So if none of the lights on your router light up, then make sure it's plugging into a working electrical socket, meaning you plugged it in, none of the lights come on, well, you might not actually have power, okay? Also, you want to make sure you have at least one computer plugged into it. So grab a laptop, grab an Ethernet cable, plug into the back of the router. If that still doesn't work, your router might actually be dead. Wireless interference. So for the most part, all wireless computer hardware uses the same range of frequencies, somewhere between the range of 2.5 gigahertz up to 5 gigahertz. That's generally the range that we use. But this is also the same range for cell phones, cordless phones, baby monitors, security cameras, you name it. Anything that's on the commercial wireless frequency spectrum is in that range for the most part. So if you have a device close to your router that might be overpowering the router's signal, you may not be able to get a signal from the router. So to fix this, you need to move those devices as far away from the router as possible. It's usually best to put your router in a room by itself, somewhere centrally located in your home, so that you can get that Wi-Fi signal spread as far and wide as possible. For me, I have my router downstairs in the basement, and everything's connected by wires. And I have some wireless router repeaters throughout my house to kind of help my wireless signal. Okay, so any problem that's not covered by this presentation may take more advanced knowledge to fix. Things like DNS server failure, DHCP server failure. If you're trying to manage a large network, network interface card failures, incorrect settings, things like that. All of these problems, if you have a good general idea of how computers work and you feel like you're savvy enough to fix them, all of these problems, you can Google them and you can generally find steps to walk you through how to fix these things. But if you don't feel comfortable fixing your own internet issues, you can always call a company to come in and take a look at it for you and help you set up your wireless network. But again, next time your router goes down, impress your family by saying, hey, I can go fix it. Then you unplug it, wait 30 seconds, plug it back in, and then it's fixed. And then everyone's like, how'd you do that? You're so super smart. It must be because of that handsome Mr. Storm in that class that you're taking that teaches you about computers. Hopefully your parents don't say that. If they do, let me know. You know, I might want to meet them during parent-teacher conferences or something and say, yeah, I'm that handsome Mr. Storm that you were talking about. And yeah, I taught your kid how to fix your internet. So, you know, you're welcome. Anywho, that's about it. So if you have any questions about this stuff, please let me know. This is pretty easy stuff to do, though. And again, I don't want to get too deep into computer networks because it's a really dense topic, and this is an entry-level class. So, okay, that's it for me. Peace.